All right, you guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have another a couple special guests with us today. We have Valbona, welcome back, and we've got your team with us as well. So thank you guys all for popping on the show today.
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
Thank you for having us, Brandon. We are excited.
Absolutely. So Valbona, you and I have done a couple interviews like this. So why don't you just really quick kind of, because I want to unpack and talk about your team and all the things you guys have been working on in 2021, which I think is phenomenal, because the last time you and I did this, you were a solo agent doing this by yourself. So why don't you give the audience just some context around what you've been working on and introduce your two team members?
Yeah, so when I started at really beginning, so I was a new agent. And so like everyone else, I was struggling where to focus, where to find leads. And I tried a few, let's say, Facebook ads and this and other possibilities in the business. And finally, I found you on YouTube channel and decided to join the class with you because I really needed to learn more about the business. Everybody that is new as a real estate agent, they know that we do not learn so much in the school when we get the license. So, and this business, it's huge. I mean, there are so many things that you have to learn. So I decided to join you, and I like the fact that I was able to get leads, and basically, so that what I appreciated the most was not spending a lot of money, because when we start, this is what we need. You know, the budget is limited, at least for me, and I do believe that there are other new agents, they have this limited budget. So we started working together, learning all the strategies you did. The class, all the weekly or the steps in the program. And I really started with the mindset first one, which is so important in cold calling, more than other free ads and whatever, opportunities are there. And so I'm going to be honest, so I said, oh my God, again, from the first week, it's mindset.
Yeah.
But then, so I realized when I start putting in practice everything, that's the moment I realized that was really, really important. So what I would like to say is from the beginning was that I really focused in cold calling. And we know, because we are social media people, so there are so many shiny objects. So I was getting a lot of phone calls for lead generation, text messages, emails. And I get distracted a little bit, but then in a month or two, so I decided I'm just going with the cold calling. I'm not adding other pillars in the business because I couldn't afford to do those things alone by myself. So by the time in the morning that you do the phone calls and you clean up your leads and having preview appointments, so there's no more time for other pillars.
Yeah. So let me, because that was great. So you there's a lot there. So I want to make sure we unpack this for the audience and kind of talk about one thing at a time, and then we'll introduce your team as well. So you started off as a solo agent by yourself in this industry. And to your point, like many agents, so many things were coming at you, right? People were saying, right, try this, try that. You joined our coaching program and you learned, I think what you're saying is you learned how to generate your own leads so that you didn't have to pay another company on giving you leads. You could generate your own business. Is that right?
That's right. And in addition to that, so beside the budget, they were like leads right away. When you do ads, so they convert maybe in 2, 3, 4 or more months. But this were like, when I got the first listing, it happens in 1 week, pretty quick. So ready to list, ready to go.
I love it. And then, so how long have you and I been working together total now, would you say?
Oh my God, it's just 1 year.
1 year. Okay. So you started to build your business, and then you said to yourself, okay, so because you first wanted to learn how to do it yourself, right? Like you wanted to learn how to sell, how to communicate, how to go out there and generate your own business. At which point did you say to yourself, okay, now I want to build a business, right? I want to take this solo practitioner, like so many realtors are. They're like a one man, one woman show, and said, I want to build a business. At which point did you tell yourself you wanted to start bringing on team members?
So exactly. So I started that on myself, and even I was doing phone calls, everything by me. I got the first and the second listing the first 3 months. And then I realized that, listen, I did not have any time for myself anymore. I was completely consumed. And then I said, well, I'm not hiring a VA. And so I just want to make clear to everyone. So these are not ideas that just came in my mind. I learned from people into the coaching group. So we share a lot in that group. So the students are saying that they mentioned the VA and one of our coaching session that we do once a week. So I said, let me look into this VA thing. If there is, because it hit my mind, so it's going to be very helpful to me. And then I decided to hire Aggie. And so all this happened after 4 or 5 months. Cannot remember exactly, but that was the time I said, listen, this is not a one person business.
Yeah.
There is so much to do in here. So let me get some help. And I follow the rule, like the things that you kind of hate the most, just delegate.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So your first hire was Eggy, and we're gonna talk to him in just a second and learn a little bit more about what he does for the team. But how you came to that decision was, if I'm gonna really build a business, I have to have potentially more people involved so I can leverage my time to do what I'm best at, and then hire people to do what they're best at. So let's talk about your first hire, which was Aggie. Aggie, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I love being here, Brandon. I'm not going to lie about that.
I love it. I love it. So I'm looking forward to having some good conversation with you. So why don't you take a second and talk about what you do for the team and the type of work that you do?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, I started as a VA with Valbona, as Valbona was saying. I was a cold caller, and that's what I've been doing from the beginning. And I basically learned a lot from you, Brandon, from the Facebook group, from the YouTube channel. Those were the most helpful ones. And I could say that I did some scripting practice as well, like just writing down scripts for days, for weeks, for months, until I got the idea of the scripts. I learned them by heart. That was the point. And pretty much like I love how's it going here as well on Florida. And this feels natural now. It doesn't feel anymore like a work. It's just more about passion, to be honest with you.
I love it. So I want to stay here for just a second, and then Cindy, we're going to bring you in just a second too. But I want to talk about, you came into Valbona's team doing what some people think is like the hardest work, which is making outbound prospecting phone calls. What was your mindset in the beginning? And then we'll fast forward and kind of talk about where you're at today, because I remember practicing with you when you first got started, and so what was it like in the beginning? And then we'll kind of unpack what things look like today.
Right. So yeah, in the beginning, I felt like this was just a casual work. I have to say some scripts and people are just going to agree to that. That was the first impression.
Yeah.
But a month or two, I think in the cold calling, I learned that that's not what you got to do. You just got to be an agent, understand people, understand their needs, and then give them the solution for that need. Like, that's what I got the most. But in the beginning, it was just like, I'm just working. Okay. I'm just getting some money and hopefully I'm going to sell or something.
Yeah.
But things advance real fast.
So going back to the beginning, did you find yourself like, man, this is really difficult? I don't know if I can do this. Did you start having doubts? Like, walk us through that a little bit.
All right. So yeah, in the beginning, on my first phone call, the first conversation that I had, I thought that he was going to say, okay, come and list the property. It didn't go as planned.
Nope.
It didn't go as planned. I forgot the script. At the first phone call, it was hurtful. I'm not going to lie. And then I think that was helpful as well, because from there, I just went into practicing scripts, listening to videos every single day. And, just kept on repetition. I love that process because it grew me from my mindset first and my skills as an agent, because as I was telling you, this is passion right now, but it was hurtful in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie about that.
So, and we're going to talk about Valbona, what you're doing to work with Aggie.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about that in 1 second. I just want to, because that period of time is what people go through when they start in real estate sales, is like they start to pick up the phone, and it's a very difficult thing in the beginning if you have no sales background. So Aggie, I want to go back to you for just a second. I want to talk about, you said something very interesting. You said that you practiced and you worked on your skills a lot. And so what advice would you give, knowing what you know now? Because I talk about this all the time. I talk about the learning is in the doing. So many people want to skip over the part of like being bad at something, and they just want to study, and then automatically be good at it. And it doesn't work like that. Like you have to suck in the beginning. You're going to be awful in the beginning. And so let's talk about like, what advice would you give, Aggie, to somebody that's starting off in sales or in real estate sales? What advice would you give them on how they can get past that fear of calling in the beginning?
Well, to be honest with you, I would bring this into steps. So the first thing that I did to get good at this was learning the scripts by heart. That was the first thing. And, keeping the scripts in front of you, you sound like a robot. It doesn't sound good. And, people don't like that. And the second thing that I did is that every time before I did a phone call, I counted to 3, just like breathing and exhaling exercise. And man, when you do get into that first conversation, your confidence just boosts up. That's something that I lived. And the moment that I had a full script with somebody, I just loved myself. It was like, okay, I'm going to be the greatest salesperson ever.
I love that.
That's how you get into that.
And it took time, right? Like you didn't master this from the beginning. It takes some time. So Valbona, can you walk us through when you hired Aggie, tell us about the work that you would do with him so that he could develop these skills?
So when I hired Aggie, it wasn't something that I hired him today and the next week he was ready to go.
That's right.
So we would stay on this, we would stay in the Zoom together, and he was doing the phone calls and I'm listening to him like we are talking right now. And at the end of the phone call, I would tell him, so you handled this, the first objection, great. So next time, or when I see something it's not right, I just advise him right away. So teaching him and training him in the real time. It took us, so I remember very well the first FISBO that he got. I mean, he made the appointment and I went and did the listing presentation.
Yeah.
And so I got the FISBO agreed to list, and that was a lady and was Aggie's first FISBO. So that was really, really, I mean, a happiness for me and for him. This is a time when he really become confident that, oh, okay, I can do that because we got, and there are the results there. But it took us 3 to 4 months to do that. In addition, since the moment I hired him. Also, except that we were staying in the Zoom, I see a YouTube video that is good for the mindset. I just sent it to him. Aggie, please listen this before you start doing the phone calls today. And we are doing role play together. So it's a process that takes time. It's not going to happen like as soon as you hire a VA, so everything is fine.
Yeah, and it
takes time.
And you're exactly right. And that's what I wanted to spend a little bit of time on, because you're exactly right. So what happens is a real estate agent will say, okay, I want a VA like Aggie. I want somebody to help me prospect and generate top of funnel leads in my business. They go and hire somebody, not understanding what you're saying, Valbona, that it's going to take time and investment from a training and coaching standpoint into the person. They want to hire somebody and they want that person automatically to start pouring value into the business. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
How much time were you spending with Aggie maybe on a daily, weekly basis? It wasn't like you hired him and he was just a rock star from day one, was it?
Absolutely. So I'm telling you, we keep still doing that. He makes phone calls and we are in the Zoom.
Every day?
Every day, but now he's a little bit more independent, you
Sure.
know, so we are not in the Zoom like he's doing. I said, when you have a difficulty, unmute yourself because I have work to do as well. So I listened to him and I said, okay, you did great. For example, today, so he sent me a screenshot of a text message that he sent to a lead. And I called him and I said, I love it. He said to the guy, because we've been following up with him for a while, And he said like this, if you want to work with me, so we have to talk about the property. If you do not like to work together, just let me know, because I don't want to bother you. So,
Beautiful.
and I said, this is excellent. So now he's a little bit more independent, and I don't stay with him like 4 hours calling right together, you know?
So in the beginning, I want to clarify.
Yeah.
In the beginning, were you spending 4 hours a day? Because here's what
A
I want
day.
people to get a day, because
A
I
day.
want people to hear, because I live this every day in coaching agents. They want to hire somebody like Eggy. They don't want to do any of the work. They just want all the benefit. So you were spending 4 hours a day every day for 4 months in the beginning. Is that how it was?
Yes.
Wow.
From Monday to Friday, we do phone calls. I mean, still every other Saturday. And so, we do this, and this is how we got all these leads, because it's a lot of work. And at the beginning, so Eggy was starting with the phone calls. Where I see that because, you know, when you hire someone, there is a setback, it's a slow down in the business.
It's called the rubber band effect. I just wrote it down just now. You have to go back to go forward.
Yeah. And then, so I would take the phone and I would start doing some phone calls myself. I make a listing appointment. So just not let the Eggy completely. And actually, so during the time I hired him, I did 2 listings, but they came from me, not from him. But I never gave up on him. So said, we are going to get there. We are going to get there. And I mean, he knows we trained a lot with your videos, every material that you say. I gave him access on the Facebook, and he reads whatever other member writes there. And he says, oh, I like what he did. I like this reply. Because objections, we know the main ones, but there are sometimes the things that we do not know. Any objections. And this is how we learn.
So that's phenomenal. Now, let's talk about a little bit about some of the results that you and Eggy are getting from a lead generation standpoint. Like in a given month or a given week or a day, however you want to help us out. Like how much time, Eggy, are you prospecting every day? How many prospects are you talking with? And how many leads are you able to generate maybe on a daily basis? Can you guys kind of give us some of the stats?
Well, I mean, yeah, so we work for like 4 to 5 or 6 hours. I mean, that's how much effort we put. And we do usually work on the weekends as well. And Brandon, the goal is to get, for me at least, you know, the goal is to get 2 listing appointments per day.
That's awesome. And so in that, when you work 4 to 6 hours, how many contacts are you making roughly on average every day?
I would say up to 20. I mean, there are good days where I can make 25, 30 in those 6 to 4 hours, but mostly it's like 20, 15, something like that, but usually stands at 20. And I do manage to get, I could say the best day would be 2 listing appointments per day. Or 3. There was even days like that. So under 20 conversations.
So this is incredible conversion. I mean, this goes to show, Eggy, how good your skills, how good you're becoming at this. And what this meaning phone sales. It's like the greatest skill. And I think I told that to your team, Balbona, at one time. I said the greatest skill you could have is being able to sell over the phone, because you'll never have to worry about money ever again. So Eggy's able to have about 20 conversations per day and set 2 listing appointments per day. That's a 1 to 10 ratio. I mean, this is incredible. Usually it takes people 4 or 5 years to get to this level of conversion. Eggy, you've been able to do this in what, 6 months? Is that right?
No, it's been over 6 months now. I think like over a year, if I'm
about
correct.
A year. Okay. So about a year, which
7,
is
8 months.
8 months, something like that.
That's phenomenal. Okay. So you're generating a lot of listing appointments, a lot of listing leads. And then you probably come to a point where you're like, okay, this is you, Balbona. I got a lot of paperwork. You got to make another hire. So why don't you introduce us to Cindy and what she does for the team, and so we can understand that a little bit more.
I tell you, before going to Cindy, so September, we had 10 lists, because now with Eggy, it's not a competition, but he's saying to me, hey, I'm giving you listing appointments. You have to convert.
That's right. Yeah, I love it.
It's really another responsibility, because he says, I'm doing my job. You want me 20 conversations a day. Right. So this is where we have it. In September, we had 10 listing appointments that I went to, and we got a listing out of that.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking you, is my conversion rate a good one?
So when you guys
Because
define, I guess let me ask you. So when you say 10 listing appointments, are these like, would you consider them more or less like a preview appointment, or are they an actual listing interview?
they are listing appointments where AD has made it very clear to the lead that I'm going there. I'm spending with them 10 to 20 minutes, and I'm going to tell them what we as top agents do to sell property like yours.
Got it.
So
Okay.
it's clear listing appointment.
And so out of those 10, you said one last month?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's on the lower side of the conversion. So maybe we could talk about that on another call on like what we could be doing. Maybe we could do that a little bit after this show. I'd love to give you guys just some feedback there. So, all right. So then so fast forward, you make your second hire.
Yeah.
So walk us through that.
So, I mean, I cannot stress that enough, but everything came because of you and joining the class. And I'm not just saying because of the show, but in our group, we talk about leads and cold calling and everything, but you taught us how we can go with the social media as well.
Yeah.
So I started doing social media, and I'm committed, and I've been doing this for like 3-4 months right now. I post every Monday one video on YouTube, on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, everything. So here it is that I get a little bit more busy with my time, because it's not easy, to make time to produce videos and all that. So at that moment, I was editing my videos as well. Now I have an editor. And then I said, okay, I need some more help with the administrative work, which at the beginning I loved it in comparison to cold calling. I said, I'll do it myself. And then, I decided to hire Cindy. I found her, online application jobs and Fiverr and all those websites that are out there. And then, she's there. It's still virtual administrative assistant. We're not living in the same place or having the office.
Sure.
But this is how I find her. She can talk herself. I mean, what jobs I delegated to her and the way we did it. So
that'd be great. So Cindy, welcome. Thanks for popping on with us today. Why don't you do that? Why don't you just kind of walk us and the audience through kind of what you do with Valbona and the type of task and work that you're doing with the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that. But I want to say beforehand that you're kind of like a legend in our team. Like I came in, those two knew you for a while, and every morning we have a meeting, just like catching up. How was the weekend? A test, what we want to accomplish this week.
Love that.
Where I keep notes and then update everybody else if somebody's missing. And every now and then I feel like Brandon said that, or you did good. Brandon said it last week, and I was like, who's this guy? But
that means a lot. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot. And I care a lot about Valbona and you guys and seeing you guys succeed. So I really appreciate you saying that.
Great. As per my task or job, let's say in this team that we have going here, at first I kind of thought of it like a easy job, easy cash, like I'm gonna respond to an email and get over with it, post a picture on Instagram. I never knew how much effort each of those little tasks took until I started doing it in a professional way. So it was not my account. This is a business account. This is a property that is looking to be advertised properly. And I found taking almost 30 to 40 minutes for a simple picture, while everything else took even more at times. General tasks that I help Valbona with, because I always advise her before doing anything. This is a business that has really gray areas, let's say.
Yeah.
Emails, which are the easiest task out of them all, and I love them. And then there's social media, posting, replying whenever somebody asks a question, or even updating Bona if I don't know the answer to that myself. There is also trainings. Every day we have a training about a procedure or a property. So we get to recording. I watch the video sometimes within the time that I spend doing the work. Sometimes I even watch it after that, and I'll take time from the daily routine that we have. And it's amazing that every day we actually find a new question that we have to consult either to each other or even like other teams. For example, EXP team, they've been really, really helpful.
That's good.
Every time I've reached them, they've always came back to me either with an idea or even advice or just a normal greeting, which you appreciate when you're very loaded.
Yeah.
And really, what I never realized simple tasks took so much effort until I got hired for it, and now I will always respect business pages.
Yeah, that's good. So you're doing a lot of social media, administrative tasks. Valbona, let me ask you, is the goal to, as you guys start to look forward into 2022, are you going to bring Cindy more on the transaction coordination side soon? Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's part of the plan. But right now, so when we hire people, it's not just about having a task, but they have to understand the real estate, how it works. So we are kind of
They have to
training
understand the
them.
why. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're training them, and it's not just, oh, okay, this is a buyer, fill this form and that's it. Why we're doing this, why it's important to upload documents here and there, why it's important so we do not miss any document during the transaction. So there are a lot of things there to do. The way I started with Cindy, so still on the Zoom, and we are doing recording, we use Loom, and I explained to her the whole process. And then I also document with a video. So when she wants to go back, she has it. So in a way, we are also building systems. And we're discussing with Cindy so many times. So if she wants to come more into the business and we want to hire another person that is going to do the secondary task, I don't have to train this person anymore. Cindy is going to be the one. So that's why we're creating all the systems and everything.
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you guys are creating essentially your operations manual so that as you hire more people, Cindy can say, all right, here's 6 videos on how to input a listing as an example. So yeah, I love it. All right. So what are you looking to, like, what's the long-term vision, Valbona, I guess, for your group, for your team, as you look ahead into 2022, what are some of the things that you guys are looking to accomplish?
Yeah, so we are working that on January 1st. So I definitely have to add more pillars in the business now, so we can double everything that we did the first year. So the first year I said we had 18 transactions, but I got a cash buyer, so hopefully we will finish. So the closing, it's December 31st, so we want to do it at 20. I found a niche which I'll be more than happy to share with everyone here. I found this rent to own buyers, which I love, because in comparison to other buyers, so here the number of the houses that you show to them once they are qualified, it's limited. It's like maybe 5 to 6 houses, and I love that. It's not like 10 or 15 houses to show.
Yeah.
And I'll do also marketing. I started with Google Ads and a lower budget, not very high, because I also have to test it. And so I'm going to do some marketing as well to become a go-to agent in the area that I live. And this is what we want to double. So we want to go to 40, 50 transaction next year.
That's phenomenal. And I mean, really with the people on your team right now, I think the 3 of you guys, you can absolutely do 40 deals. And in your market, in volume, what is your average sales price where you're at?
So we changed. So we moved here in Fort Lauderdale. So it's all over the places, but let's say like 300,000 it's right now.
That's right. I forgot you moved to Fort Lauderdale. So I have a really good friend down there. She's got a large team at Keller Williams in Fort Lauderdale. That's great. So you're new to Florida, right? Because you were in Tennessee before, right?
Yes.
How do you like it down there?
It's great. And I tell you, we got the first FISPA here.
I love it. That's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a great market for the work that we do, that I teach with, how to go out there and generate a listing-based business. I mean, Florida is such a great spot to do it. So that's really exciting. So 40 to 50 deals next year. I guess my last question for you, and I'd like to ask everybody on the team. So Valbona, I'll start with you. So if there's a brand new real estate agent watching this interview, and either they're brand new licensees or they're looking to get their tests and get into the industry, what is one piece of advice that you would share that you wish you knew when you started off as a new agent?
Yeah, I wish I knew that how this industry, I never did the research on real estate. I said, okay, I'll get the license, I'm going to make it. You really have to study what is going on, because this is not for everyone.
Yeah.
I have this discipline. I wake up 8 a.m. So I'm here in the front of the computer and in my office doing the job. So just really search what you are going to deal with in the future. Yeah. The first thing. And the second that I would like to say to the real estate agent that are like me, so they started, do not be afraid to hire people. We cannot do everything. I mean, I found myself completely consumed at the beginning, and I was frustrated and everything. And we have so many sources right now, virtual assistant, VA. And we do not have really to spend a lot of money on paying salaries and all that. So thanks God we had that. Yeah. So do not be afraid to hire. They're just, it's a help for all of those.
Love it. I love it. It's great advice. Aggie, let me go to you. So doing the work that you do now, and really you're in phone sales 100% of the time, what advice would you give to somebody that's newer to sales, newer to phone sales, that maybe you wish you knew in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, I thought that motivation was going to get you far. Brendan, right now I learned that repetition and being constant on what you're doing, believing the process, that's what's going to get you far. And you really need discipline in this job. Like when you do sit down, you just do the phone calls, whatever happens, happens. You just work on getting better. And that's how it's going to go.
Love it, man.
I'm seeing that in myself right now.
Detach from the outcome 100%, just put in the work day in, day out, day in, day out, and then the results start to follow. I love it. Great advice. And Cindy, we'll end with you. So somebody that's getting into real estate, either on the sales side or the administrative side, what advice would you want to share with the audience?
I would like to say that there is no small task. Like everything matters, no matter how little or much time it takes or how much resources. So the more you try to accomplish something as well or perfectly, let's say, as you can, the more you're going to enjoy it later. And get in a team where you actually enjoy being with them, because there are going to be struggles. You cannot avoid those. They're going to be there. The first moment you pass something, there's going to be another thing. That's how life goes. Create, if you can, an environment with your team where you enjoy the hurdles that you have every day.
Love it. Great advice. Environment is everything. It's about who you're surrounding yourself with. So that's really exciting. I'm excited for you guys. What we should do is we should plan on doing this again at the end of next year to kind of see how far the team has come. And I have no doubt that Valbona, all the work that you're putting into this team, the leadership you're giving your team is going to help you guys get to the goals that you guys have set. So best of luck in 2022. I want to thank you guys so much for jumping on the show today and all the advice you've given. And I'm sure we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Brendan, just the last word. I'd love to say hello to my friends, to Rika, to Gina, to Abir, to Keith, to Lee. Has been great from our team, and I learned so much from them just scrolling up and down on our Facebook page that we have together. And also a very deeply appreciation go to my EXP team. They have been also helpful, and I got a lot of ideas from them as well. So this is something that you cannot do on yourself. You need support. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you guys soon. Okay. Have an awesome week.
You
Take
too.
care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.